everyone, welcome back for another episode in Adventures of Comprehension. My name is Ciera Harris and I'm so excited to be with you today because we have a fantastic topic. Today we're going to be talking about 3 quick tips to help you improve your model. So before I get into the 3 quick tips, I really want to make sure that we are on the same page for understanding what a model is. So a model is a moment in your lesson. Typically it's towards the beginning, but it's a moment in your lesson when you are taking time to show the students what happens inside your brain in order to complete an objective. Modeling is where it is you as the teacher and you only. You are the only one allowed to be what I call on the stage. It is your time to shine. It is your time to open up your brain and show the students what exactly needs to happen inside from the very beginning to the very end in order to meet the objective at hand. So modeling is important in all subjects, but it's especially important in reading. One of the questions I do get asked a lot for modeling is how long should a model take? My top time always is 4 minutes because it's 4 minutes of them listening to me talk without giving them a break at all of that listening. So I want to make sure I'm keeping it short and sweet. And that also kind of forces me to make sure that what I'm modeling and what we're doing in our lesson is very chiseled in and pinpointed. So let's dive into our 3 tips, okay? Tip number 1 is to, when you are modeling, make sure to state your objective. And if you are wanting your students to understand that what thinking is about to happen from my brain is going to help you with main idea, then that statement needs to come out of my mouth. So I would sit down, I would begin my model, and I always had some kind of clear way of telling or showing my students that I'm about to model. And it literally can be as simple as saying, I am beginning my model now. And that let the students know that everything from that moment on until when I stood up or turned around or when I was done, that is all thinking inside the brain that they need to be listening to in order to be successful by the end of the lesson. So if I say I'm going to be getting my model now, one of the next sentences that comes out of my mouth is going to be the objective. So it would go something like this. All right, boys and girls, so I'm going to begin my model now. Okay, so Mrs. Harris wants me to complete this graphic organizer, and it has to do with main idea. So what is main idea? Well, the objective states the main idea is what the story is mostly about and that the details support it. All right, so I see on my graphic organizer that there are 4 sections. So it would sound something like that. So you can clearly see that I'm getting my brain ready to do the activity, which is what we want them to do when they go to do the activity or anytime that they're independent. Right? So right there, they heard all of my thinking inside my brain, but it was all out loud. And I stated the objective at the very beginning. So it's going to link the learning and all the thinking to the objective. It's going to connect those 2 things together, which is so important. All right, so tip number 2. This is a big one. Purposefully get things wrong. It is so important for students to see us make mistakes. Now, I know we make mistakes every day, right? The kids do get to see that. But I really mean it when it comes to us showing students how to do things. Be purposeful in the mistakes that you make. So if I know, and I've taken data, whether it be on exit tickets or I've seen it in small groups, and I know a vast majority of my students have this misconception with a certain objective, that's going to be the misconception I purposefully make in my lesson or in my model. The kids don't know I'm purposefully doing it, but I do because I want to show them what kind of thinking it takes to identify that the fact that that is incorrect, and 2, to work through correcting it. So I am purposely going to use data, or I'm going to understand what I know about the content and common misconceptions, and I'm going to make a mistake. And then I'm going to work through the mistake and show them why it's wrong how I know it's wrong, and then how to fix it, all within my 4-minute model. So if I can be very purposeful on doing this sporadically throughout my week of objectives, right? If I'm working on main idea for a whole week, maybe I pick one lesson to do this with, then that right there is going to show students that, one, all readers make mistakes, all mathematicians make mistakes, and two, I need to understand when to identify the mistake and how to identify the mistake, and then what to do next. So this is going to take your modeling from like basic level to very powerful level if you can implement this into your lessons. All right, and our final tip tonight, tip number 3, is to ask yourself questions. This one is so important. We want to make sure that our students are becoming very inquisitive thinkers. We want to make sure that in our model, in that 4 minutes that we are giving them, that we are showing them that I don't know everything off the top of my head. There are going to be things that pop up that I'm going to have to ponder or wonder about or stop and question and then use a resource to find the answer. So if I make sure that in my model, it's not just declarative statement after declarative statement, and I'm actually showing them what probably most likely will happen inside their brain, which means they're going to come across a few hurdles in which they will ask themselves questions to then find the answer to, then it's going to be so much more productive, all right? If you think about how your brain works, your brain will not actually find you answers unless you ask it questions. Like, it's literally the scientific way our brain works. So by making sure in our model that we are asking questions, we are showing students that, one, that's okay to do, and two, that's going to train our brain to look for things or think about things that we didn't know automatically. All right, so modeling, can you tell why this is so important for us to do in every single lesson? If you teach a phonics lesson, make sure you model. Vocabulary, model. Comprehension, model. In a given day, you should model for every single lesson that you have planned out. Even in your small groups need the model just as much as your whole group does. All right. And obviously you can shrink down the time in which you model depending on how long the lesson is. If I'm doing a 30-minute lesson, then my model is probably going to be a full 4 minutes. If I'm doing a 10-minute mini lesson, I'm not going to do a 4-minute model. My model may be 30 to 60 seconds long, but they still need to see our thinking. They need to see it in order to know what kind of thinking they need in order to be successful with that objective. All right, friends, so thank you so much for tuning in. We went through 3 quick tips for modeling in the classroom. So if you want more tips just like this, make sure to click the link in the description of the video and check out the full blog post on modeling tips. And I'm happy to answer any questions. So make sure to comment below and let me know what you think and ask any questions you've got, and I am happy to answer them. So thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope these 3 quick tips are going to be super helpful for you. And I know if you implement them tomorrow, starting tomorrow, you're going to see benefits right away. So thanks again for tuning in and have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye.